Hello, today we're going to try to restore this Optimus Prime box that we have here. I'm trying to get it so it can replace my other one that I had, and it's quite old and damaged. As you can see, it's a lot of worn lines and whatnot, and the plastic is cracking. I could replace that, but there's a whole bunch of little just bits of the box and the side flaps broken off. So I'm going to try to take this box, which has a little bit cleaner face, but has this big dent right here, where if I put the camera down here, you can see that it's nice and bulging out over the box top there. Like it got smushed in the front and just collapsed a little bit there. So to do this, we're going to use some 2x4s to give the box some stability, and then we're going to iron it out. So actually these aren't 2x4s, but these blocks of wood, I made sure that they fit the box so that it would be a nice little, create some good stability within the box itself. And then over here, I have some shims just to make it have the wood fit the whole inside of the box to make a nice bit of stability. And so I had to cut this one down to size to make sure that it fit right snugly up at the top like this. I'm going to slide them all the way in so they get to the entire top of the box. And so now I have within there something to press and give it stability while I iron out these wrinkles, hopefully. So to protect the box, I have my handy dandy white shirt here. Nothing fancy with this. And we're going to just place it on top, and we're going to iron on top of the shirt, so we're not ironing on top of the box itself. Sometimes the box is a little bit glossy and you don't want the iron to touch directly upon that. So I have this folded over to give it 2 layers of protection. I guess that's really 4 layers of protection. And I have my iron here that I have, it's not the lowest setting, certainly not on the highest setting. You're not trying to burn this. And I have no water in here. I'm not trying to get it wet. And so what you do is you just press down firmly. And what you want to do is you're warming up the fibers of the box. And so you're kind of repositioning them to say, this is where you want to be. And when it warms up, or cools off, I should say, then the box should stay in its shape that you've pressed it in. So we shall see how that works. And so I'm just going over this nice and slow, giving it a nice firm push. You can probably see that I have wrinkles in my shirt now that I'm ironing through because the shirt's not flat. I can still feel it's a little give there, like there's a little bubble, but it feels pretty straight, and it's certainly warm. So I'm going to take off the iron and see what it looks like. And the answer is, oh, not so bad. The bubble's pretty well down. I don't know if you could tell kind of a before and after, but this is certainly much more straight now, and you can feel these little creases in there. You're never going to get the creases out completely because they're just in there forever. But it looks pretty good. I'm going to give it a once over one more time. All right, put the shirt back over it. Maybe I'll go rogue and try just 1 or 2 layers of protection. I want to protect the flap of this. So the flap's already bent, but you don't want to make it worse. All right, so again, I'll just take my iron, press down firmly onto those boards that are giving it stability. Go over the part that has the bubble a little bit more firmly and a little bit longer here. And dead air, the bane of radio, dead air. And so now it is pretty warm. You can still feel there's a little bit of bubble in there, but that's okay. There's still some front of the box that I'm gonna have to iron out as well. But right now, oh, that's looking much, much better. You can see that it's now pretty well flat in the box. Ooh, it's quite warm too. So that's good. Now, on this piece here, the little flap is not as, it's bent as well, or it's creased as well. So what I'm going to do is the same thing here. I'm going to take my bit of wood and I'm going to put my shirt over this flap here, and I'm going to iron out that flap, because that flap being bent as it is makes the outside flap of the box not fit really well inside. So I'm just going to be careful here. Hopefully you can see that on the camera okay. Iron that out. The flaps are pretty easy to iron out. You can be a little bit harder with them because they're always on the inside, so you know, you're not worried about the gloss on the box. All right, let's try that and see how that flap looks. And, well, maybe a little bit more. It is torn right here, so I'm gonna have to get some, just a little bit of dab of glue to glue that down. Let me try it one more time. Just to get it nice and, well, as flat as I can, I shall say. All right, how is that now? Well, gotta get that tear there fixed, but at least it's much better than it was. Now, the other thing that I want to do is I want to flatten out the top of this box. Now, this is a little bit more worrisome because you have the bubble here, and you don't want the bubble to melt with the iron, but you can see that the box is bowing out a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my shirt over here, and because it has a plastic bubble there, I'm going to give it an extra layer of protection, and I'm going to just press down mostly where the cardboard is to give the cardboard hopefully enough heat to reposition itself as a flat piece of cardboard. So going over the Optimus Prime picture on the front, well, I can still feel that it's bowing a little bit, so give it a little bit more pressure, and then just give it heat. I'm pressing just on the left side to try to just get the press down on the cardboard and not put heat directly onto the plastic, although it doesn't feel like it would be near its melting point at all. So that's good. All right, let's see how that looks. Well, it's still bowing out some. I think it's probably a little bit better than it was, but you can see it's bowing out. So I'm going to try it one more time. Right here. Get it nice and warm to get those cardboard follicles all back into place to be nice and square. You want to make sure you keep the iron moving, as you don't want any burn spots to be created. All right. Okay, so, well, it is flatter, and this is certainly flatter. Well, oop, and it just bubbled up again. But it is a little bit flatter right here, so that's good. I can tell. I'm not sure how that translates on the camera here. But let's now see about putting in the actual Optimus Prime and see how well this displays. So I'm going to take out my pieces of wood here that I used as the ironing board. And get that one more piece out of there. And then get my styrofoam Optimus Prime. Put it into the box. And let's see how we do. Get the one flap in. Hopefully this flap will stay down more. Yeah, stays pretty well. And there we go. We have Optimus Prime back in the box. And the box is pretty well square, at least square enough, certainly a lot better than it was. And for those that ask, well, is this an original box versus one of those reissue or KO boxes? One of the things, there's two tells that I look for with my Optimus Prime boxes. One is the smokestack being on the outside grid line of the picture here. If it was the KO box, it's further inside. And then the other really easy tell is on the back, you have ravage. And if it's the KO box, you have ravage cut off. It cuts off basically at his shoulders and you can't see his face. So that's another good tell that you have a KO box of Optimus Prime. Anyway, hopefully you like these tips, see how it's done. Hopefully you like the results. I'm pretty pleased with the results myself, how this has turned out. Certainly a lot cleaner now than my original box that I had that was all beaten up. So thanks for watching. Happy Transformer hunting out there, everybody. Talk to you later.